Okay, my name is Ezekiel Escobedo. I'm 17 and I'm gay. The definition of gay is you like someone of the same sex. I came out formally to my... Okay, basically, most of the school already knew. Like, I was fine if they asked me. I would say, yeah, I am. And I guess I never really thought, like, oh, what if it gets back to my family? Because I was already tired of it. If we're being honest, it was just like it's this weight, just this weight on my shoulders that I'm just carrying around. So I was just like, you know what, that's fine. When it really all boiled down to was shit hit the fan when I dyed my hair. The epitome of being a depressed, closeted gay man. And
which is?
I dyed my hair. I bleached it. I bleached the fuck out of my hair. It was like a crisp. Like, it came out to a crisp. It was really bad. Mm-hmm. And then, so I hit it the first night because I was like, it's fine. And then the day after, this was May. Keep in mind, this was May, so it's not
May
cold.
Of?
May, I don't know, like the end of May, like towards the end of school.
Of this year?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I just like had my hoodie on. I was like, take off your hoodie. And I was like, I don't want to. I told her, I don't want to. Don't make me do this. And then later on, I guess later on that day, I wanted to get out the orange, so I went and dyed it again, which made it even more hay-like. And I realized I can't come home. And I told my mom that. I called her. I went to my friend's house, and I called her, and I said, Mom, I can't come home. And she said, why can't you come home? And my friend was in the car with me. My friend Sylvie was in the car with me. And I remember holding on to her, like, just, like, clutching her because I didn't know how they'd react. I honestly...
To your hair or to you being gay?
To me being gay. Like, okay. I knew, like, if I were to come home with dyed hair, they'd put two and two together finally. Or they just continue to be ignorant. And so I just told her straight up, I said, I'm gay, and I don't want to come home because of Dad.
What was your relationship like with your father until then? How would you describe him?
Strained, if not bad. There's just like a lack of communication, or on his side really, and I just never really felt like trying to open that up, I suppose. It's kind of like a generational thing. Like, my dad hates his dad hates his dad probably hated his dad. It's just this whole cycle that I've, like, come to figure out. And basically, I don't know. I don't know if it's genetic or what. We're just, like, genetically inclined to hate our fathers. I mean, do you hate your father?
My biological father? Never knew him.
So you can't even have an opinion. You can't really make an opinion if you don't know the man. Or maybe you can fill in the blanks. Honestly, I just never saw him the same after, like, all the homophobia he instilled in me.
Do you remember the first time you, like, noticed it?
That he was homophobic?
Yeah.
The first time I can remember is he was either picking us up from school or taking us there. I just remember we were on this intersection by the school, and he was saying how the lead singer of Guns N' Roses, Axl Rose, had a shirt on that said AIDS kill fags, and my dad found it hilarious, like, just laughing about it in the car. And I just realized I'll never have a relationship with my father because of that. And it just really...
How young were you?
Oh, God, this was, like, freshman year?
Mm-hmm. So,
I couldn't really see him the same after that, let alone after everything else that happened before that. I don't know, it's just a lot with him. It's always been bad. I've always had, like, not always, I don't know when it started happening. I guess when he got worse, like, physically and mentally. I don't know if you know all that, Jessica. I assume you do. I don't know how much you know about all that.
Assume I know nothing.
Assume you know nothing? Okay. Well, I'd say the worst it got was, like, up until this point, let's just say I assumed I had a normal childhood, and it was Christmas. The whole family came over. My mom's side came over, and my dad just went ballistic after everyone left. I remember him yelling at my mom, saying that she was flirting with Aunt Lorraine's husband, of all people, and just saying all this other stuff. And somehow it escalated to where my mom was on the floor and my dad was like above her. And I just remember like going in there and like realizing that like I guess my childhood had been shattered in a way. And it honestly was the first moment that I like thought to myself like this isn't normal, like my childhood's not normal. And I guess it in a way it kind of whittled me down with my relationship towards my father. And I to this day still have never seen him the same after that. And yeah, I guess that's about it. Like just that, his temper and everything.
Going back to that car ride, what did your mom say?
What car ride? She wasn't in the car when it happened.
Well, like you were in the car.
Oh, when I was in the car and she was on the phone, she was like, "It's okay. Like, that's okay." I remember her crying on the phone, and she was just telling me like, "I love you," and I said, "I don't want to go home because I don't know how Dad's gonna react. Basically, I was saying I don't want him to do something with you there or the kids there, because that was what scared me more, was that he was gonna take it on them. When I guess in a way I was blaming it on myself, like becoming like it's my fault if he does something to them. And so I told her, I was like, I don't want you to tell him and have him come at you or come at the kids, because that time was honestly the only time that he's ever honestly been violent in any way.
But you know he's capable of that.
I still think of that. I feel like you can never see someone the same after that, and I to this day haven't. And so I told her that, and I remember first I had called Valeria, and I told her, I said, Valeria, like, you know the deal, because I had told her a long time ago too that I was gay, and she was fine with it, honestly. I'm sure she's got friends who are.
She's chill.
She's chill, yeah. And she was like, well, like, it's okay, just call Mom, like, talk about it, and if anything happens, like, I'll make sure we get out of there. And so Valeria suggested that they leave the house. So my mom made up some excuse or another, and she went and got me, and we went to Abilene that night. We slept in Abilene. And my mom wanted me to call my dad, and I couldn't do it. I remember I was so against it. I didn't want to talk to him. I didn't want to say anything to him. I don't know what I was expecting at that point to happen. It was easier to avoid it than to hit it head on. I felt like I'd already done enough that night. It was done. And she called him and she said, "You need to hear this." And he says, I don't want to hear it. I'm not going to hear it. I don't know how he put two and two together, but he did. And it wasn't until the next day that we had already come back that he had, I guess, even then he hadn't come to terms with it. That day he didn't come to terms with it, really and truly. I remember saw me with my hair, and he couldn't look at me. He put himself in a corner facing away from me. And I told him later on, when my mom had made us all sit down, that I had given up on him basically as a father. I was seeing him as my father. I was seeing him as anything more than just someone who lives in my house, I guess. And I could tell that it hurt him when I said that, but that was how I felt. And I honestly don't remember what else happened. Oh wait, I do actually. I have this thing where when things get bad, I run away from them. I run away from my problems, and I know I do it, but it's still easier. Even if you can acknowledge a problem, but if you don't want to fix it, you're not going to fix it. And I didn't want to, so I ran away from it. I left the house because they had already taken my keys away, because they were like, "You're not going to leave again." And so I left the house and I went to my friends who lived like 2 houses away. My mom kept calling me and I just didn't want to face it. To face him, to face the reality that this is happening. This is happening. I don't know how they're gonna react, and things went downhill a lot more after that. I remember my mom getting mad at my friend who, she didn't dye my hair, she just fixed it. And I remember my mom getting so mad about my hair because I told her I'm not gonna dye it back when I'm not doing anything wrong. It's just hair. I'm not doing drugs. I'm not drinking. I'm not doing anything wrong to where you're allowed to tell me what I can and can't do with my body. Like drugs, yeah. Tell me to fuck off. Go ahead, but it's different. It's my hair. It's not something big like that. And she basically exploded about it. She yelled at me. She was saying, your friend can't come over to the house anymore. She got to the point where she said, she slammed the door. Right before she slammed the door, I remember her words. She said, tell that fat bitch that I don't want her coming to my house anymore.
And this was after you came out or before?
This was after I came out, but it was about my hair. And she didn't have a problem. I felt like she didn't really have too big of a problem with it until she had talked to my dad, and I guess he didn't want it. And he basically said that he didn't want me having my blonde hair because it would embarrass my siblings. And that hurt more, basically calling me an embarrassment, in a sense. And I guess I kind of lost it for a minute. I didn't come home. I didn't really want to talk to them. And one day I remember, I guess my dad was still in denial about it. And at the time I had a boyfriend, and my mom told my dad, she's like, he's gay. And my dad's like, it's just a phase. He was basically thinking it's just a phase. My mom said, no, he's gay. He has a boyfriend. And that's when shit really hit the fan. My dad came home saying, I want a divorce. I want this. I want that. And my mom was like, you need to have to talk with your father because he doesn't believe that you're gay or whatever. And I said, fine. So we sat down, and I said, this is the way I am. If I wanted to change it, I would have, because it would have been so much easier on me. And he was basically saying, this is against God. This is wrong. You're going to get sick. You're going to get AIDS. And I said, anyone can get an STD. And I told him, I said, I stopped believing in God the moment you put all that in my head. I said, there can't be a God if I'm being treated like this. And I just remember him yelling at me. And I had never yelled at him like I did that day. I threw everything back in his face. I remember I told him, you're the reason why I feel like shit. You're the reason why I feel like a fuck up. And I told him straight up, I said, I fucking hate you. I can't look at myself in the mirror because all I see is you. And it just got to me, I guess, like, realizing that you have no father.
And where are you now?
I mean, we're talking, but it's kind of like ignoring the fact, like dancing around this fact that I'm gay. I mean, sometimes I'll go to the house, my pants might be too tight, I might be dressed a little more flamboyant than everyone else, and I can tell that his eyes are on me and he's disapproving of it. And I guess that hurts more than anything, that he can't at least try to tolerate it. After that, I had left the house again that day. That I yelled at him and I cussed at him. And he said, I'm just going to have to get used to it. And I want you to come home. And I did come home. I don't remember. Where did I go? Oh, I went to Sylvia's. So I guess after that, it just kind of went back to normal, where they don't really talk about it too much.
Do you talk about it with any of your family?
I mean, I talked about it to my mom. Like, my mom knows I have a boyfriend right now.
How's that going?
The fact that she knows, or the relationship?
The relationship.
It's going okay.
Was he with you at the time that you came out?
Oh, God, that was a totally different one. And
okay.
That thing went south very quickly. God.
Going back to earlier, you said that the whole school knew?
The whole school knew, yes.
Who did you tell anybody before?
Everyone used to ask me in middle school. I remember being asked by these certain people, and
how did you think that they meant it whenever they asked?
Like in a rude way. To me, it was like an insult, and I just.
Do you remember the first friend you told?
Oh God, who was it? It was either Eliana or Olivia. One of the two. I feel like it was Eliana I told, and she was like, I know. She said, I know. It's obvious.
Were you as
I think I was
stressed to tell her?
Like a little bit, but I just can't. We had a heart-to-heart that day. I think that was when she was dating this girl who told me that, which is kind of like, we're dating her, but, you know. Either way, like, I told people, and I guess, like, other people realized it until eventually I was more comfortable with it, and they were like, are you gay? And I was like, yeah, like, it's whatever. I don't know. I feel like I've just grown up a lot since then. Like, I'm not the same insecure little gordito boy I was who was, like, all, like, I've learned to, like, accept myself for who I am, even if not everyone does.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's certainly the way I dress. I used to not be able to dress myself. It was like oversized shirts and like straight pants and some terrible shoes that I got from Sam's Club. Yes, yeah, it was bad, but I feel better about myself for the most part. There's some things I have to work on, like my ADHD, my OCD, all that.
Do you feel comfortable with what you wear now? Like, do you feel confident?
I feel confident. Like, yeah, sometimes I'm like, you're a little big, but then other times I'm like, food tastes too good to be acting like this. So.
Do you think that after coming out to either your friends or your family that you felt a little bit more comfortable?
Yeah, for sure. I felt more, what's that word everyone loves to use at school? I'm gonna say extradited, but I know that's not the word.
Extradited?
It's not extradited. Extroverted. There you go. Feeling another word. I feel more extroverted as a person. I kind of say what I want, maybe a little shamelessly. But yeah, I feel a lot better about myself personally, and kind of where I'm at personally. Academically is a different story. Personally, I feel great.
Yeah?
Yeah.
That's good.
It is good.
What would you define as coming out?
Coming out, telling your family, telling people who are close to you, whatever your definition of a family is, just explaining to them that you're not straight, somewhere along those lines, you're not straight.
Do you ever think you'll be done with coming out? Just because it's
like I feel like you kind of, like, some people are always being asking me, like, are you gay? Like, you know? So, I don't know. Honestly, it just depends on how you think of coming out. If are you already out? Like, I don't know. I feel like, I don't know. That's interesting. That's debatable. That's a good question. I'd say so. I'd say, like, there's a point where you're done coming out, and it's okay. The way it is like this. If when you're coming out, you're hiding something. You're obviously you're in a state of mind where you're like, I'm embarrassed of this. This isn't normal. This isn't right. And then eventually, you just kind of learn to accept it, and you have to tell people about it because it's just eating away at you. This fact that you can't tell anyone that you're not who you want to be, and so you become the person you want to be in a way, or who you are trying to be.
Who you be.
Who I be.
Who I be.
Who that boy, who him is I am his.
Switching the topic very quick, how was your exposure to gay representation in media?
Holy shit, who was it? Oh my god. Let me think about that for a second. I remember seeing Freddie Mercury somewhere, and my dad saying that has to be one of the biggest fags I've ever seen, and me thinking, how
He's
embarrassing.
Iconic.
No, it was embarrassing, but now I'm like, fuck, like, that's beautiful. Have you seen what he wore? Like, just hot damn, I wish I had that wardrobe. Just wow. Okay, but being called Elton John's an insult. That's awful. Just because I don't know, I don't like his style. I don't know. Maybe it's just because I think he's ugly. Someone called me Elton John today because I wear those glasses, and I was like, they're coming off. They're fucking coming off, Richard.
They look great.
Yeah, I like them for the most part. Like when they're not on my face, I don't know. I feel kind of like one of those clout chasers when I do it. And I'm like, am I doing it ironically or am I doing it because I like it?
But aside from those representations of, I guess, gay culture.
Gay culture,
but
yeah,
like,
definitely.
would you say that it's like improved over the past few years?
How, like, gay representation?
Yeah.
For sure.
And,
there's so
like,
much more exposure to
movies,
everyone. I feel like I've met a lot of people who say their parents aren't okay with it, but they're okay with it. And I feel like that has a lot to do with just how the media portrays us for the most part.
What would you say is some common misconceptions about being gay?
That we're all the same, I guess. Honestly, I'm not really into makeup. I don't shave. I'm not hairless for sure. I like my fur. Okay, I like my fur. I'm fine with it. I guess that we're like really clean and organized. They're like, I wish I was gay because I'm so like you're so clean and organized. I'm like, bitch, have you seen my backpack? Have you seen my room? There's literally dead cockroaches in it. We can edit that out. No. I want them to think I'm quirky. You know what? It's fine. We'll leave it in. And God, no, I'm telling you, there was one under my bed for like 2 weeks, and I just couldn't deal with it. Yeah. I don't know if it's the OCD or the ADHD or the depression. It's one of the
if
three.
If it's any consolation, there's been a cricket on like the wall, like near my bed, and I haven't touched it at all.
Honestly, it's just like it'll go away.
It's been there for like a month.
Something will eat it.
But yeah. Because you experienced a negative response to coming out.
For sure.
Do you see that changing for other people?
Oh, yeah. I've heard people tell me, like, I told my mom, and she was just like, and? Like, it wasn't a big deal.
Did you think that she knew?
Huh?
That she knew prior to you telling her?
Who?
Your mom.
No, my mom? Okay, so, I don't know how this happened, but she somehow managed to forget that that she found out I was gay. So I was in New York, and someone showed her my Instagram. I don't know how or what, and I was wearing a shirt, and it was like midriff, out and about, and she was like, "So someone showed me your Instagram, and so you're gay?" And I said, I remember slamming myself onto my bed, and I didn't want to get up, and I was just like, I don't want to talk about this right now. I don't want to talk about this right now. And she was like, I'm just letting you know, like, it's okay. I still love you, whatever. And then I don't know if she forgot or what. She was like, oh, you're gay. Like, how'd you forget?
Do you think that she just
blocked it out? I don't know, I guess.
Or maybe, did you think that she thinks that it's a phase? Or was?
Maybe. I remember at one point, we were driving around, and she was like, are you bi? And I was like, Mom, I'm gay. And she said, well, I just want some grandchildren. And I was like,
you can still have some.
I was like, bitch, have you never heard of a sperm bank? Like, have you never heard of, like, someone giving me her uterus? Mm-hmm. Yeah, so.
And you being straight might not even impact your wanting a child in the future.
Yeah, honestly, not just, like, I don't know. I kind of want one, but other times I'm like, I can't even take care of myself, let alone another human.
Because I still feel like, even though, like, we've come far in, like, representation and, like, people coming around to, like, understanding that being gay or queer or bi or any other sexuality it's not wrong, or at least not...
Sure it's not.
Yeah, it's definitely not wrong, but, like, I feel like the stigma against it has died slightly.
Yeah.
Or moderately.
I feel like it's just because there's more exposure to it, so it's kind of like, if you're, like, always around it, you kind of can't do anything about it, you know?
But, people still obviously struggle with...
The fact that they're gay, or the fact that they're not, like...
The fact that there is some fear whenever it comes to coming out.
Definitely a fear.
What would you... Like, you don't regret any of it, do you?
God, no, I don't regret it.
Yeah. So to people out there who are debating it, what would you say?
Honestly, it just depends on your situation.
Yeah.
Because some people live in countries where you will die.
Not okay.
You will literally die if you come out. And I would say, like, try to maybe get away from where you're at if it comes down to you being alive and, you know, you being free, I don't know, like it depends on if it's a fate worse than death, you know?
But if you're
somewhere where it's okay, then I would say come out, because the worst they can do is turn away from you. And if they decide they can't accept you for that, then they were never really your family in the first place.
Damn.
Yeah.
Now, is there anything you wanted to say?
That I wanted to say?
Mm-hmm.
Live, laugh, love. No, I'm kidding. That's fucking disgusting. Please do not ever put that on your windshield.
No, get a tattoo of it.
Oh. I saw someone with a tattoo that I never.
Somebody out there with that tattoo is just screaming at us.
They're like, why? Why did you cut me out?
No, but like for real.
Okay. What should, I don't know. Like, what do you mean? Like last words?
Not like last.
Any
That
last
sounds
words?
so foreboding. But no, like to anybody, because this is going up tomorrow, online.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Okay. Edit my name out then. But
yeah. But yeah. Is there anything you wanted to say?
Just, you don't have to learn to love everyone. I think that's bullshit when you're like, love everyone. You should all love everyone. Because I don't love everyone. I hate some of these bitches I've seen out here. Like, some of these people are just like, I don't want you to exist, but you have to exist or else I'm going to jail. So I would say just like learn to tolerate people. Be an adult about it, honestly.
Mm-hmm. Don't
say shit about Mexicans. Don't say shit about gay people. Just try to keep your mouth shut. Oh God, I don't know, just accept people.
Be a decent person.
Yes, be a decent person. Don't tell people what to do. Let them live their life, unless they're hurting someone else. Then get in there and get rid of them. Okay, and this concludes Queer Eye.
Jesus Christ.
This is one heavy episode if it was.
Yeah. So yeah, I think we're good. Thank you for letting me interview you.
Of course.